Good morning. As we go to the chitas of the day, today is Wednesday, which is the fourth reading in the book of Pashkis Savoy, 17th of Elul. We're holding in Deuteronomy chapter 27, verse number 1. Edabar Beitzav Moshe. And Moshe commanded, Beitzav Moshe V'ziknei Yisrael, and the elders of Israel, as the nation lamer, saying, Shomer, observe, it's called a mitzvah, all these commandments, which I am commanding you today. That says Shomer, the word Shomer here denotes continuous action. That it's to say you must observe these commandments always. Don't think that these are commandments for the time or for a period of time. This is always. Gradant in Old French. I don't know French. Come the day that you're going to go over the Jordan. To the land that God is going to give you. And you shall set up yourself stones, huge stones. Set up for yourself huge stones. And you shall plaster them in lime. So now she says, what is this? In the Jordan. And that is, you shall take out other stones from there, and out of this second set of stones, build an altar on Mount Avel. Consequently, we find that there were three places at which the construction of stones was set up. 12 stones were put together in the Jordan. Number 2, the same number of stones were set up in Gilgal, the first stop that the Jewish people came to. And number 3, the same number of stones was set up in Mount Avel. Above is taught in the Gemara in Saita, where the Talmud, citing chapter 4 Joshua, proves the above. So this was, they stood up, they put like these monuments of stones with words of Torah to remind the Jews of their commitment. As the Torah continues, it's called Divrei Torah. And you'll write on it these laws of the Torah. When you go over the Jordan, so you shall come into the land, which God is given to you, Eretz Zavas Cholov Dvash, a land of flowing of milk and honey. As God has spoken to you. Verse number 4. And when you cross the Jordan, set up these stones, which I'm commanding you, today, in Mount Avel, and plaster them in lime. And you shall build there an altar to God, an altar of stones. You should not yield upon them any metal. Avanim shleimus, it should be complete stones. Tivnes mizbach Hashem lekecha, you shall build. It means when you come into Eretz Yisrael, Moshe Rabbeinu says the second day even before they had a mishkan or they established a place in Shiloh, you shall make a sacrifice and bring a sacrifice. Thank God that you came into Eretz Yisrael. In verse 7, you shall slaughter there peace offerings. You'll eat there, you'll be happy before God your God. Shall write upon these stones the Torah very clearly, in 70 languages. Wonder if they ever found these stones. Moshe and the Levites priest spoke to the Jewish people. Lema haskes. Listen, pay attention and listen, O Israel. Ushma Yisrael. Hayem hazen Yisrael. Today you've come a people before the Lord your God. Rasha's haskes, to be understood as a Targum Onkelos renders, meaning listen, pay attention. Hayom hazen Yisrael. Today, this day, you become a nation, people. Every single day, again, see that throughout this whole parshas, Moshe Rabbeinu keeps on mentioning Hayom, today. They didn't become a nation today; they became a nation 40 years ago, and before that, even in Mitzrayim. Moshe Rabbeinu keeps on telling the Eden they have to feel like everything's happening constantly today. As if you're going to covenant today. It's all about today. And therefore you should listen to the voice of God. You should do his commandments and his ordinances, which I'm commanding you today. And that completes the Chumash of today. We're going to go to the Tanya of the day. We are holding 17th day of Elul, and we are starting the 15th letter of the Alter Rebbe in the Geras HaKodesh. It's a very, very Kabbalistic letter, and the Alter Rebbe is going to give us explanation, try to give us an explanation in the Sfiris, Helyonis, in the upper 10 Sfiris, the 10 manifestations of God that is expressed in Kabbalah, the Zohar, and the Arizal especially. And the Alter Rebbe is going to try to explain to us. So he starts with the letter as follows. To understand the allegory and metaphor, Divrei Chachamim, the words of our wise, V'chidusam, and their riddles, Ve'inyan haspiris, in respect to what's called Sefirot. Commentators note that the allegories and metaphors refer to the written Torah, which includes allegorical passages, which are true at both the elusive and the little level. An example would be, seek life with a woman who you love. Although encounter the woman is a metaphor for wisdom of the Torah, the verse retains its simple meaning as well. So here you have a verse in Mishlei that seek life with the woman you love. You can take it as simple. Mishlei Melech is telling us to seek life with the woman that we love. But self-understood, he meant it also in a spiritual sense. He was not giving us family therapy. The woman in Kabbalah is the Torah. Seek life in the woman, in the Torah which you love. Commentaries, Torah, the word actually Torah is feminine. Shechina is feminine. Neshama is feminine. So it's seek with the woman, with the feminine that you really love. Commentaries note further that the words, the wise, and the riddles refer to the oral Torah. The words of the wise referring to things that are revealed, and while their riddles refer to those things that need to be revealed and solved. By applying this phrase to the Sfiris, this phrase of mashal or militza, an allegory and a metaphor, and chidasam, riddles, the Rebbe is indicating that the Sfiris contain all four levels: an allegory, a metaphor, words of the wise, and their riddles. For the Sfiris are found both above in the spiritual world as well as within the Jewish soul. So everything that you learn in Chassidus, everything you learn about these Sfiris, Chesed and Gevurah and Tiferes, all these each and every one of us have in a very, very, very clear way. We have kindness and we have severity, real things, and self-understood. They have their spiritual counterparts. They are they're riddles, they are a metaphor, and they're the words of the wise. So everything has many levels to it. It is known throughout the land. For the mouths of the heavenly saints, may their souls rest in Gan Eden. Enabling us to somewhat comprehend the verse. What's written. From my flesh, I behold God. What does that mean? From my flesh, from my own flesh, I see God. What does that mean? The verse speaks of a partial understanding of God's blessed divinity from a consideration of the soul which is vested in the flesh of man. So the pasuk is telling us, you really want to understand spirituality, understand your soul. The more you understand yourself, who you are yourself, the more you can have a comprehension in something that is spiritual. So that he says, this refers to only the dimension of the soul that animates the body. As the Rebbe notes, the essence of the soul, like the spirituality that transcends the world at large, remains incomprehensible to man. So as we all know, we learn in Chassidus that there are 5 levels of the soul. So Mipsadi, from my flesh, comes to the lowest levels of the soul, the nefesh, the ruach, the neshama, but not the yechidah shebenefesh, the oneness of the soul, and even the life of the soul is above the comprehension of a human being. So it's even to understand a human being is really hard to understand himself, because there are things that are incomprehensible even about himself. But there are things that he can comprehend, his basic soul, the way it works in his body. This corresponds between the soul and its creator, according to the teachings of our sages, of blessed men. Of the verse, Baruch nafshi, give praise, Baruch nafshi, to God, Baruch Hashem. So I should give praise my soul, Baruch nafshi, it says praise my soul, La Hashem, to God. So it's an interesting expression, praise my soul to God. So that's the point. Ma Kodesh Baruch Hu, just like the Holy One, blessed be, permeates the world, Af neshama, so does the soul permeate the body. So Baruch nafshi. So if I want to praise God, I need to praise my soul, to understand my soul, that how my soul connects to my body. Now I can maybe understand how God permeates the world. So since our sages go on to enumerate other similarities between the soul and God, it's clear that from the soul, we're able to catch a glimpse of things that exist above. But how indeed can we possibly compare the soul to God? The Rebbe therefore goes on to quote the Zohar. The soul derives from the innermost aspect of Godness, thus sharing characteristics of its supernal sphere and with divinity itself. So therefore, since the soul, we start off in Tanya, in the 2nd chapter of Tanya, that the soul is a part of God, therefore it has some similarities. Not the same. Soul is still created and God is infinite, but it has some aspects. Therefore, we are able to understand godliness through the analogy of the soul. As we mentioned, this is the Zohar that the Alter Rebbe mentions in the chapter 2 of Tanya, chapter 2 of Tanya. As in the corresponding light, according to teachings of the Zohar on the verse, by Yifar ba'apav nishmas chayim, in the verse of Genesis, the creation of man, it says he blew within his nostrils a soul of life. When God created man, he created it different than every other creation in the world, and every animal. He just said, let animal come out of the earth, and the animal came out of the earth. But when it comes to man, he says he created him out of the earth, his body, but then it says he breathed within him, he blew within him a soul of life. And the Zoya, on the word vayipach, on the word he breathed, he blew, man de nafach mitefenach. The Zohar says, he who blows, blows from within him. Why did the Torah use the word he blew? The Torah could have used he put. A lot of words the Torah could have used. But here the Torah uses the word he blew, because the Torah wants to say that the creation of man comes from something deeper than just words. Words come from a regular place of a human being. A person that takes a deep breath comes from a deeper place. Realize when you lose your breath, how far your breath comes from, how deep your breath is connected to you, your breath. So when you take when you have to take an exhale, from someplace deep, you have to inhale. You have to take a deep breath. It goes for your body, for your diaphragm, for your essence, from his inner word and his most inner being. So as I just explained, unlike speech, which utilizes only external aspect of speaker's breath, blowing amidst the innermost breath. Thus, when scripture states he blew within his nostrils the soul of life, it means to indicate that the soul derived from the innermost aspect of godliness. And that's the metaphor, as explained in Geras HaTshuva, chapter 4. Even the nefesh. Again, we explain that there's 5 levels of the soul. The lowest level of the soul is nefesh. Even the soul of the lowest grade of Asiya. You take the nefesh of the lowest world of the world of Asiya, which is the lowest world. So we have the lowest level of the soul, and the lowest world, which is the world of action, still needs to come from a very high place. Derives from the union of Zah and Akira Zeir Ampin, meaning the bracket of the 6 masculine middays or emotive attributes, from Nukva, meaning the feminine attribute called Malchus of Asiya. So in simple terms, Asiya, every world, as we learned many times in Tanya, every world has 10 spheres, meaning they have 3 intellectual, and 7 emotional. So you have the 3 intellectuals, Chachma, Bina, Das, wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. And then you have Zah. Zah is the makeup of the 6 masculine, and with the 7th is Malchus. So you have the 6 masculine, and then Malchus is the feminine. And that's why Malchus is the receiver. The Malchus is the 7th one, is the receiver. He's the feminine. It's a feminine. It has the capability, Nukva, which has the capability to receive. The Shechina is also feminine. The Torah is feminine. As everything, the Neshama is feminine. Because it's all the concept of a receptacle, which is feminine. So you have the 6 middays, which is masculine, in the world of Asiya, Chesed, but really, all of them cannot express themselves without coming into the feminine, which is Malchus. And the feminine is the one who takes all these attributes and expresses it. And that's why the concept of speech is feminine, is Malchus. And the aspect of the next, creating the next concept is all Malchus. Because everything, all these attributes need to come into attribute of Malchus, which is in Kabbalah, Mayim, the Nukva, the feminine attribute called Malchus, of the world of Asiya. So meaning, the nefesh of the world of Asiya is born of the union of the above masculine and feminine middas. This union, called Yichud, or Zivug, Zun. That's why, which is an acronym to Zah and Nukva, Yichud Zun. The Maimer that every Chassan and Kala says, Rabbi Chassan says as before his chuppah, is this concept. The concept of Yichud Zun, really the aspect of the bringing together the man and the woman in this world is really a meta. It's happening, Lamaila is happening above the Yichud Zun, the unity of the masculine and feminine. What's happening in this world is really a unity that's happening in the world, in the upper worlds. And that's the unity of Zun. The Zun is the 7 midas, really the 6 midas, the 6 masculine attributes of Chesed, Gevura, Tiferes, Netzach, Chod, Yisoid. And all these 6 midas that are masculine, they all come in they unite with the feminine. They become one with the feminine, which is Malchus. And once they become one with the feminine, it creates a whole different reality. And that's why it happens in this world that when you have Malchus and Zah, you have the masculine, feminine, physically come together, you have the creation of another whole world, another whole level. And what is the intellect? We just spoke about the midas. What is the intellect? Everyone has intellect. Every world has intellect. Chochmah bina das. And the union, of the union of their meichen, Chabad, as an acronym for intellectual soul faculties of Chochmah, Bina, and Das, together constitute the meichen. Meichen is the intellect of Zah and Nukva in the world of Asiyah. So now you can, by connecting everything together, bringing down the midas with Malchus, masculine and feminine, and also bringing that to the nefesh, in the basic soul, and bringing it into nefesh, ruach, and neshama, which is the higher levels of the intellect of the soul, the wisdom and understanding of the soul, and you have now a total unity in the spheres, in the attributes of the world of Asiyah. That's what happens when you have a union here in this world, which are Chai and Neshama of Zah and Nukva. So foreshadowing the above mentioned union at the level of lower emotive spheres, the union which first brings the nefesh to the stage of potential creation, in that which takes place in the level of the higher intellectual spheres, two partners to this union are the soul level kol chaya, representing the level of chokhmah, the masculine element, and the soul level neshama, representing the level of bina, the feminine element. So everything that's happening, what it's saying is everything that's happening in the emotions, in Zah and Nukva, in the emotions of Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes, that's a Chod Yisoid that they come together with Malchus, also happens in the higher, in the intellect, because everything comes from intellect. So also in the intellectual, Chachma and Bina come together. We know in the intellect, Chachma and Bina are also masculine and feminine. So Chachma is masculine and Bina is feminine, because Chachma is the light and Bina is the vessel. So that's the masculine and the feminine. So they also come together. The Chaya and the Neshama. Chaya is the intellect of the Neshama, and the Neshama is the receiver of the Neshama. Come together. As I said before, Neshama is feminine. Thus, even the soul, even a soul that is merely a level called nefesh, so even a regular nefesh needs to be made up. The made up of the nefesh of the world of Asiyah is made up of all these components, because it wouldn't be a nefesh if it didn't have all these aspects within the emotion and even in the intellect. Within the spheres of the world of Asiyah, the sphere of Asiyah are thus an external aspect of the Kalim of Zah Nukva Vatzilus. So ultimately, I skipped something. Thus, even the soul, the merely level of nefesh, comprised of spheres in the world of Asiyah, Chacham and Bina, the 6 emotive attributes, and Nukva of Malchus. Shehein, and they, the world of Asiyah, 10 attributes in the world of Asiyah that come together, really are expression of the world of Atzilus. They go to the world of Bria and Yitzira, and ultimately the world of Atzilus. Thus, in turn, are the external aspects of Kalim, of Zah, and Nukva of the world of Atzilus. So just like you have the 10 attributes in the world of Asiya, the world of action, you have the 10 attributes of the world of Atzilus. And ultimately, this neshama that is created in the world of Asiya, the nefesh that's created, the soul that's created in the world of Asiya, needs to come out ultimately from the world of Atzilus, from the world of emanation. Shehem elikus mamish, and they, the Kalim Atzilus, are truly divine. That's the only difference between the vessels of the world of Atzilus, which is totally divine with its light, while the vessels of the world of Asiya is really not so divine as the light that emanates in that world. That's for the Kalim of Zah and Nukva of Atzilus illuminate, are infused within the spheres of the world of Asiya, and the spheres of the sphere are thus an external aspect of the Kalim of Zah of the world of Atzilus. What happens in the world of Atzilus and ultimately in the fourth world of Asiya? Ultimately, they all come from one source. In the world, all these worlds, even the world of Atzilus, that's the most important thing. It doesn't make a difference where you're coming from, since we all come from Atzilus. All of us, our neshama, whether it's the lowest level of soul from the world of Asiya, the lowest talent pole of creation of our soul comes from a very, very low place. But it doesn't make a difference, because that's the way our soul is showing in the world, but ultimately it's connected. Our soul is connected to the world of Atzilus, the world of emanation. And what is the main source of the world of emanation? Is God. Hamaluvish, which is concealed. The God knows, the Seif has to even conceal itself and hide itself in the Chachma of Atzilus, the world of Atzilus. But ultimately, everything needs to come from God. So you're right. My soul comes from the lowest place. I'm from the nefesh of the world of Asiya. I'm from the lowest. That's correct, but it doesn't make a difference. The source of my nefesh needs to come from the world of Atzilus, from the world of emanation, which over there, the vessels and the lights are united. Why? Because over there shines in a more stronger way, even though it's hidden still, but still in a much stronger way. The light of God. So for the reason explained in the Alter Rebbe's note in chapter 35, indeed, the infinite light vested in the Chachma illuminates all the Kalim and the spheres of Atzilus. Supernal Father nested in Atzilus. So that's why the most prevalent power in the world of Atzilus is Chachma. Chachma, that's why everything's created with Chachma. Because when there shines the Midas HaChachma, the power of wisdom, and the Eibusher's Chachma is one, and therefore everything in the world of Atzilus is united. It is united because the vessels and the others are much more united as one. Why? Because the light is very strong there. And the infinite light of Ein Sof and its Kalim are one in Atzilus, in the world of emanation. So since the spheres of Atzilus are the internal aspect of the spheres of the world of Asiya, since Atzilus is ultimately the source of the world of action, so it's really the essence of that source, of that level. So even though you don't see it in the world of Asiya, it doesn't take away from what its essence is. Its essence and its real identity is the world of Atzilus. And what's the entity of the world of Atzilus? What is the true essence of the world of it? Is Ein Sof, is God. The infinite Ein Sof light is thus vested within the spheres of Asiya. So that's why, therefore, even in the world of Asiya, you have the Ein Sof. That's what the Alter Rebbe wants to really bring out. that as low as I am and as finite as I am does not change the fact that I, as a human being, from the world of Asiyah, the lowest level of the Tadpole, and I am pushed so far away from my essence, I still have my essence. And the essence of every single one of us is Oy Ein Sof. Vayipach ba'apav nishpas chayim. And he blew within each and every one of us a neshama, a breath of life, which comes from the essence of HaKadosh. Hey, if you understand this, Gam b'nishmas adam. Therefore, even a human being, and in his soul, the way he's human, Meir Oy Ein Sof Baruch Hu, shines an infinite light of God. Which is hidden, very hidden, maybe, and invested in the light of its chachma that is in the human being. Because I also have chachma. To give, to animate a human being. And from this concept, since you have chachma, since me and you have wisdom, I have the capability to understand a little bit. So just like in the upper worlds, even the world of Atzilus is Chachma, and there's Bina, and there's Das, and there's Chesed, Gevura, Tver. So to me, my personal little self, I have all the same thing. Got the same thing in a much lower degree, but I still have the same thing. For they all radiate his soul, which comprised of them. So since he's comprised of these 10 spheres, from Chachma, from the wisdom till the Malchus, the lowest attribute, and he has the constant masculine family. He has Chachma and Bina, which is masculine and feminine. He has the 6 middays, which is masculine, and Malchus, which is feminine. So he's got the whole thing. He's got everything within him. For myself, I can understand Atzilus. So since the soul derived from the 10 spheres, and hence comprise 10 corresponding faculties, man can arrive to an understanding of the supernal spheres through contemplating the dynamics of his own soul. And that completes the Tanya, very beautiful Tanya of today. Really beautiful Tanya. And today is the 17th day of the month, which is chapter 83, 84, 85, 86, and 87. So 83 to 87. Also, today being the 17th of the month of Elul, we add another 3 chapters, and that is 49, 50, and 51. 49, 50, and 51. Wish you a beautiful, wonderful, happy, and healthy day. God bless you all. I will see you, Midshem, tomorrow at 8 a.m. And at Midshem, I'm hopefully going to see you all tomorrow, so 10 a.m., which we're going to have the JLI class.